today we're making my roasted pork belly. Nice and crispy. The first tip is take your pork belly out the night before, take it out of the packet, put it in a plate and just put it in the fridge as is overnight. And that way it'll draw out all the excess liquids and everything out of the skin, and that'll help it crispen it up even more. Now I've got a boning knife here, I'm just going to scale it just a little bit more. It has already been done, I'll just do it just a little bit more. The more cuts and everything it has in it, the better it will be. And the cuts are even deeper. But when it cooks, it'll all crack open. If you've got a clean razor blade, you could also use that as well. There. Here we go. Right. So the first thing I'm going to do is season the underside. So I'm going to do some fennel seeds. Some ground coriander. And also just a little bit of cumin. And then we'll need to put some salt on it. And we're just going to just press all that in. Like so. Now we're going to set it over. And we're going to grab some olive oil. So I've got olive oil in a spray bottle. This is awesome because it doesn't use any propellants or anything. I can fill it with whatever oil I want, and then I can just refill it with whatever, and just spray it out. So it's great instead of using the actual propelled oils. And then we're just going to lather this in salt. Alright, and that's that. Alright, so I'm going to start cooking this on the stove first, so I'm going to get this lid. And we're going to use the baking dish that we're going to be using in the oven. So now I've just put some oil in the roasting pan. And we're going to roast this skin side down first. Just to get the crackle started. And then we'll turn it over and get it all sealed in. Once we give it some time, we're just going to turn it over. Now it's not going to crack oil, it's just going to help start that process. So now we're just going to let it just seal that other side in with all the different spices. So once we've got some colour on the underside, which looks pretty good there, we're going to add some stock to the roasting tray. So if you watched one of my previous videos, I made in my previous video I made some poached chicken for a Vietnamese chicken salad. So I'm just using that from this. So now we're just going to let the stock just come up to just almost a boil, and then we'll put it into the oven. So right now I've got my oven preheated to the highest setting it will go. So mine's 260 degrees, but it is a gas oven, so it tends to be a bit lower than it actually is. Now the stock is heated through, we're going to put it into the oven. So I'm going to put it into the top shelf. And as you can see, this is at its maximum, which is 260 degrees. And I'll leave that like that for an hour until we start to get like just a bit of a crackle on top. And then we'll turn it down to about 180 for the rest of the cook. So I've just checked on the pork belly. And as you can see, it's starting to generate that little bit of crust. It's not crispy or anything right now. That's going to take a long time to actually render and make crispy. So all I've done is I've just topped it up with a bit more stock in there. And I've turned it down to about 200 at the moment. You could probably go down to 180 with your electric oven, but mine's gas. And just while it's cooked, if your stock seems to almost disappear, just top it up with a bit of water or stock while it's cooking. So it's been a couple of hours with the pork belly. That is now ready. Nice and crispy. Let's dish it up. So when we go to slice pork belly, turn it over and make it a lot easier to actually slice on its back. And then we're just going to go straight into that and listen to that crunch. And all that fat has just rendered down. That is perfect.